Erikson theorized psychosocial development is comprised of 8 stages. Human development is based on the emergence of predictable developmental crises, and it's a lifelong process. The theory is based on the assumptions that all people have the same basic needs, and a person's sense of self develops in response to these needs. The theory also assumes that development proceeds in stages, and each stage is characterized by a specific and unique psychosocial challenge or crisis. It also assumes that resolution of these crises provides opportunities for the person to develop into a more fulfilled individual. At different stages, there's different representations of types of motivation that influence how the individual focuses his or her energies. Stage 1, which is trust versus mistrust, is based on life experiences with caregivers, and infants learn that they can trust the world and other people to meet their needs, or that the world is hostile, unforgiving, and that it is cold and without support. Infants who pass through this stage successfully can be expected to develop a positive and optimistic outlook towards life. So stage 1 success is the development of a positive and optimistic outlook towards life. Stage 2, autonomy versus shame, children increase their independence. And with the increase of this independence, they increase their mobility within the world. Or negative caregiver feedback and/or difficulty in mastering essential life skills can cause doubt about their competency and feel ashamed of themselves for their failures. Success in stage 2 occurs when the caregiver support and success create a sense of competence and personal mastery. Stage 3, initiative versus guilt, increased child independence from parents increases the direct parental conflict. These conflicts are dealt with in a healthy and encouraging way. If they are not, and negative parental feedback to an assertive child, the child may begin to feel guilty whenever they try to take initiative. Success in stage 3 is when children develop a sense of confidence and eventually realize how to channel their energy into positive and constructive activities. Stage success, the child's feelings of competency and generative positive feelings of self-worth and self-regard. Stage 4, industry versus inferiority, children develop a much wider range of experiences which leads to competence about ability of tasks and activities. Failure and negative feedback undermine a child's sense of self-worth, and it increases frustration and futility that interfere with the ability and willingness to take on new challenges. Stage 4 success, the child has a feeling of competency and can generate positive feelings of self-worth and self-regard. In stage 5, identity versus role confusion, the primary challenge of identity, which is the sense of who they are, values, priorities, and worldview, the clarification based on gender and social status. Difficulty in meeting these challenges can lead to an unclear sense of personal identity and has a significant and lifelong repercussions. Stage 5 success is an integration of information on social, cultural, intellectual, and sexual role identity into a unified sense of who and what they are as unique individuals. In stage 6, intimacy versus isolation, this is the formation of emotionally meaningful and intimate relationships with other people. People learn how to offer love and commit to other people in altruistic manners. Inability to form emotionally intimate relationships create a sense of loneliness and isolation. So success at stage 6 means that an individual is able to have and maintain intimate relationships with others. Stage 7, generativity versus stagnation. Adults take on careers or pursuits that allow for contributions to the larger society and to future generations. The increased production and creativity, and adults who do not complete this stage tend to be selfish and self-centered, and they lead boring lives lacking purpose or fulfillment. So success at this stage, it means an enhanced sense of purpose and meaning in life. So stage 8, integrity versus despair, individuals address whether or not they lived life of meaning, purpose, and authenticity. They have life reviews. And if they're unable to meet challenges, can become full of despair and have a sense of meaninglessness in their life. Stage 8, success, means that the individual has gained wisdom and insight from their years of life. So Erikson's theory does not address cultural relativity. It has difficulty with its conduct of research to support validity of its theory, and focuses educators on significance of verbal and nonverbal feedback in the instructional process. The highlights that educators need to be is sensitive and aware of the environment in which the students come from. They need to be sensitive to how these environments have shaped students' attitudes and values about the educational process.